What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a hoot and a holler of a story. Hope you guys do enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do, and also if you guys want to get a free $5 as well as give me a free $5 without ever having to pay for anything, check the description. There's an app called Dosh. It's a cashback app that gives you cashback on a bunch of different purchases, and it's a pretty good amount as well, so you just kind of make money for spending money like you normally would. And all you have to do is sign up for the app and connect your card, and you get $5 free credit, as well as me. I get $5 too. So we could both spend that on 500 V-Bucks or like a, I don't know, like a bowl pack of some bud or something, half a gram of some bud or something, and just have a great time. Whatever you want to spend that on, do it. But either way, hope you guys enjoy. Let's dive into it. So getting head on acid. Now, this happened a pretty long time ago at this point. This was actually 2 years ago by now, because this was March of 2016, and this was during my phase where, as most of you guys who have watched this channel for a while probably know, I was doing every fucking drug I could lay my eyes upon. Essentially. And at this particular point in time, it was right after school, I was still going to this alternative school. School had just gotten out, and I had a couple tabs, and I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what. It was a pretty nice day out, and for those of you guys who live in Illinois, you know how it is here. The weather is so garbage throughout the entire winter that when, March rolls around and it starts getting nice out, you, will do anything. You will just... That's the day. It could be 50 degrees out, and if the sun's out, you're rocking shorts and a t-shirt around here. That's how Illinois is. But either way, excuse me, on this particular day, I got out of school, and I really wanted to trip. It was a really nice day out. I wanted to do something, but the problem was none of my friends were trying to do anything. I was hitting people up yo, what are you doing? Let's link. Let's go do something. I have acid, only a couple tabs, but we could still have a fun time and smoke. Doesn't matter. Just come on. And everybody was like, nah, bro, I'm not feeling good, or nah, I got shit to do, or yada, 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 whatever fucking dick shit excuse they could give me. And finally, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to trip on my own, and if people want to join me, they can join me. So, what I ended up doing was I popped one of the tabs I had, and at this particular point in time, I wasn't tripping super often, so one tab was definitely enough to get me where I needed to be. I went through a little phase where I had to pop 2 or 3 normally to get to where I wanted to be because I was tripping a lot, but I'd kind of calmed down a little bit since that, this was a month prior to when this story took place, when I was popping acid like that, so it only took me one tab to get me going. So I popped my tab, and I'm sitting in my room. I opened up the windows in my house to get some fresh air in since it was nice and sunny out, and it was probably maybe 60 degrees, but that's fucking summer in Illinois in any month except June through August, so we gotta cherish those moments. So I'm letting the air flow through my house. I'm sitting there trying to think of shit to do, just watching TV, waiting for this tab to hit me, and I had a little bit of weed as well, but I always had that, so it was just kind of standard, and my plan was, okay, I'm going to let this acid hit me. I'm going to invite some people over. If they want to come over, they can come over. If they don't want to come over, fuck them. Who cares? My mom wasn't going to be home for a little while at this point. I think I had probably a solid 5 or 6 hours until she was going to be home. So I had some time to kill. So I was hitting people's lines left and right. Nobody was responding. Either A, they didn't respond, or B, they were just nah, bro, I'm fucking sick. And finally, there was a girl who we're going to call Lisa. Now, Lisa's a girl who, similar to the girl who was in my, which story was it? I've made a couple of them. Sex on Ketamine, I think. Similar to the girl in that story, this was a girl who had kind of slept around a good bit of my friend group, but not all of them. It wasn't as severe of thoughtery. It was mid-level thoughtery, so it was okay. So I hit her up, and I kind of known her for a little while. We'd been friends, and I was like, yo, what you doing? You want to pop some tabs and chill and do whatever? And she was like, yeah, I'm down. I got to do some shit real quick. I can be over there in 30 minutes. I was like, all right, perfect. So now I got plans. This girl's coming over, but here's the problem. I'd never really had an experience with a female on acid leading up to this. I'd been in group settings where girls were around, but one-on-one with a girl hanging out at your place when no one else is home is very different on acid than it is normally. It's very I don't know, your mind processes things so in such a complicated way for no reason when you're tripping that, all the thoughts going through your head when you're just hanging out with a girl one-on-one, let alone one who you don't know if she's down to fuck or not, is very, very stressful when you're tripping. But I took upon the challenge anyways. So I knew she was coming over. I cleaned up a little bit, and At this point, it had taken me maybe like 20, 25 minutes to find someone who's willing to come over. When she finally responded, I still wasn't tripping yet, but by the time I was done cleaning, it definitely started hitting me. And these tabs were really, really nice. I'm not going to say like, oh, I was tripping sack, because I wasn't. I wasn't really tripping super hard. It was more of like a laid back kind of letting it consume me almost, I guess you could say. For those of you guys who have done acid, and I don't recommend it. I'm not trying to endorse it or encourage it. Don't do it. But for those of you guys who have, you kind of know that feeling when you're coming up, and it almost feels like your whole body is just slowly getting like consumed by it. It doesn't feel weird. It's good, but like slowly you just feel your body just start tripping balls, if that makes any sense. I don't really know if it does, but at least that's how it is for me. So I'm kind of starting to feel that just feeling in my body, and my vision's starting to get a little more interesting. I'm starting to see more vibrant colors. I'm starting to see not necessarily duplicates of things, but definitely distorted vision. I'm starting to just know that I'm about to have a hoot and a holler. That's really what I started to do at this point. And maybe another 20 minutes goes by. I'd finished up cleaning, and, this girl tells me, she texts me, she's like, yo, I'm about to pull up. And I was like, all right, yeah, just ring the doorbell when you're here. I'm like, I'd just pull up. So she's like, all right, bet. So she comes in, she says hello, we hug, we do our thing. And, she's a girl who, like, I knew fairly well, but we didn't really hang out on a consistent one-on-one basis, which is probably fairly implied with the fact that she's never been in any of my stories on this channel. Has she? No, she hasn't. But either way, this girl comes over, we greet, we hug, whatever, we go upstairs, and, we just kind of like, I don't know, it's like that moment when you like invite a friend over because you want to hang out, but you like don't really know what to do. Like you just kind of sit down and just sit there, and you're just like, all right, what now? It was one of those kind of moments. She sits down, I sit down, we chill in the living room for a little bit, we're talking a little bit, and we're just kind of trying to figure out what to do. And I was like, yeah, so do you want to pop that tab? I'm already tripping. And she was like, yeah, sure. So I hand her the tab. I had it wrapped up in a little bit of tin foil. It was a cute little one. It was just pink. It wasn't any sort of like special art or anything, but I hand it to her. She pops it on her tongue almost immediately, and, I knew she liked her psychedelics, so I knew I wasn't going to have to worry about, like, trip sitting her or anything. I knew it was probably going to be a fun time, but, the part that I was kind of worried about was, okay, I was, like, mentally like, yeah, I want to kind of hook up with this girl, but I don't know if she's down, and I feel like if I get rejected while I'm tripping, that's going to completely ruin the whole trip. So I was trying to like strategically think this out in my head. I was like, okay, how is this going to play out? So, we're kind of chatting for a little bit, and she plays games here and there, so we hopped on my PlayStation, and I think we split screened some Call of Duty or some shit. We were just playing some games for maybe a couple hours, and, at this point, it was maybe like 4 or 5 o'clock. I still had another like good 4 hours until my mom was going to be home, so I had plenty of time. And we're playing Call of Duty for a little bit. We're playing whatever fucking game we're playing, and we're not really like, I don't know. Here's the thing. I get a lot of comments on my videos where people are like, oh, I know this guy's bullshitting because he just says he does very basic things while he's tripping. He doesn't talk about the mental aspect that much. You're like, oh, Goblin, why don't you do this or that? Here's the thing. When I'm tripping, I use it as like a fun thing. I don't use it to like expand my mind or anything. I just want to pop a tab and play games and smoke weed. Like, that's all I give a fuck about when I'm tripping. So I don't do any of that like, fucking meditating, chakra enhancing bullshit that some people are into. I apologize for calling it bullshit, but either way, I don't do that, So anyways, back on topic, we finished playing PlayStation, and we're just kind of chilling, trying to figure out what to do. And, we end up watching a little bit of television. We're watching a couple movies. We're not like watching the whole movies, but we're just watching like 20 minutes of shitty movies and then changing it because we like mutually agree we don't like it. And, as we're laying on the couch watching movies, we kind of start having this like, I don't know, this very weird conversation. It was like, the topic was very random. Like, we just talk about random shit, but there was this sense of like, I don't know, there was this like tension in the conversation. Like, it was almost like when you're sitting with that really hot girl you want to bone, you just feel that sexual tension. It was that, but it was like different because I was tripping. So I was kind of processing it a little differently, it made me feel kind of weird. And, we're chatting, we're not even really paying attention to what's on the TV at this point anymore. And I'm kind of talking to her. We're getting a little personal with it, talking about like, past life shit, and she's talking about like exes, and I'm talking about like my exes and shit, and we're conversating, and it kind of like, I don't know, it didn't really unfold like how a normal like encounter like this would. Like normally you'd expect it like, I don't know, it unfolded very weirdly, you know, as we're having this conversation, like she just kind of like slowly got like closer to me. Like we were already like touching, but like she just kind of slowly like inched her way like against me, if that makes sense. And you know, it kind of happened from there. Like I don't know, my hands slowly inched places as she slowly inched places. One thing led to another, and her hands were on my crotch, and it was, I don't know. Here's the weirdest part about it. You know, as this is kind of unfolding, you know, her hands are on my crotch at first. She undoes my pants and she's sucking my dick. All right, that's all fine and dandy. That's kind of a given. That's how it played out. I don't want to go into extreme detail there. But the weird thing is, as I was getting this head, like it was great. Don't get me wrong. She gave great head. Props to her. But the very strange part was that it didn't really feel the same as like when you're sober or drunk, or like when you're like about to bust a nut, you know, like I didn't nut from this, you know, it felt very like, you know how when you're getting head normally and you kind of have to like stop because you're like about to nut and you just kind of feel like the entire time that like build up. When this girl was giving me head, I felt this kind of like feeling throughout my body of like calmness. Like it just felt very like soothing. Like it wasn't like, I wasn't like feeling like I was about to nut. Like it wasn't like intense. Like I wasn't like, oh shit, this feels like insane. It was like, I just felt this very like numbing feeling almost. Like I just felt very like relaxed. You know, I didn't feel like, I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to word it, but I didn't feel like I was going to nut, if that makes sense. Like it didn't feel like a sexual thing almost. It kind of did, but like it was more just like it felt like a full body massage from like an expert. Like I just felt like I was sitting in a hot tub. I was just like, oh my God, like this is phenomenal. And this went on for maybe like 30, 45 minutes. Like we literally didn't do anything else. Like we didn't fuck. Like I didn't really like finger her or anything. I kind of did, but not really. She just kind of gave me a head for like probably like 30, 40 minutes. And you know, we just kind of like stopped. I don't know. I mean, it was getting time to go anyways. She probably had to dip because my mom was going to be home fairly soon at this point, but it just kind of stopped. You know, the whole encounter, looking back on it, you know, now that I'm sober, was very like awkward, you know, like it was really awkward. And we never really like did this again. Like, I don't know. It was very strange. It was almost like unspoken of. We never talked about this night together after this happened. You know, it just kind of like occurred. And then when we saw each other, we just kind of like both knew it happened, but just didn't really acknowledge it, you know. But either way, you know, after that, we kind of finished up, and I was still tripping pretty hard. I was feeling, you know, not pretty hard, but I was tripping pretty good, and I was feeling great. And, you know, especially after this, I just felt really like, I don't know. It felt like my trip just got way better after that. You know, like I just felt so good. Like I felt myself tripping harder after that. It's almost like, for those of you guys who have done acid, you know how if you drink orange juice or like you smoke a bowl and then you drink some OJ, it just sends you to like Venus? It was like the same thing here, except I got sent to the moon, so not as far, but like same kind of concept. But either way, it was fucking phenomenal. It was a hoot and a holler, and I don't know why it never really happened again. We just kind of never spoke of it, so kind of sad about that. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.